got? All right. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you back on the Bullsmack. We have returned after a few months. Basically, what had happened was the last state of emergency that happened in Newfoundland. We got hit by Snowmageddon, 150-kilometer winds, and 500,000 people got buried alive overnight, essentially. And the whole community came together. The whole province came together. They dug everybody out. They checked on their elderly neighbors. They made sure that everybody got by, and we got through it. It was a state of emergency for about 2 weeks, and we got through it. And what do we have here? The world experiencing what Newfoundlanders had gone through. Now, why did I not document Snowmageddon? Why am I not documenting this right now? Is because people don't really want to talk about politics right now. And, you know, Bullsmack usually has a bit of a political spin without siding on an ideology. So I just want to take a break. Take a break. That and my shed got blown off the cinder blocks by a 150-kilometer gust wind, which didn't do too well. Didn't do too well. I'd set up my lighting equipment. I'd set up this microphone, this tripod you're watching, and shit would just be falling over. It was like filming a scene of the Poseidon Adventure. Just half the shit was upside down, teetering even more. So, you know, it was kind of depressing at the time when you're trying to make content and you're trying to get, studio off the ground. You're trying to get more people in there. I do photography in there as well. It's kind of hard bringing customers into a studio that's just kind of tilted like this. So we avoided the Bullsmack, we went on hiatus, and we continued the conversations that we usually have in the Facebook group for the Bullsmack. Anybody can join, anybody can post. It's just a group for rational people, you know, conspiracy theorists, regular people, people that just want to have conversations without flying off the fucking deep end. That's all humanity wants to do. You know, all these issues, whether it be, you know, terrorism, immigration, viruses, pop culture, cartoons, comic books, you know, people just want to have rational conversations. They want to talk about this shit without any social barriers in their way. And Bullsmack is basically one of those things, one of those places that allow you to do that. We call it Bullsmack because we like to take the biggest issues on hand at the time, the ones that political ideologies get all up in arms about, and we like slapping it on the ass, running over the fence and see what's going to happen afterwards. We like doing that. Why not? That's how you get to the bottom of these matters. You get to the truth of things is by questioning them. You know, too many things get controlled by political ideologies, and we see what's happening right now. Political ideologies are fucking failing, yo, and it's amazing. Amazing. Like, if you're going to label the Bullsmack, I guess libertarian would be the closest thing you could possibly call it politically. But, I mean, that's why we're not as big as we should be. You know, it's a very well-known fact that being reasonable, level-headed, and following facts does not lead to viral fame. You got to be crazy. You got to be wild. You got to be out there nonstop. You got to be on fire. Fire, fire, fire. You got to be attacking people. You got to be hurting people's feelings. You can't just be talking truthfully about things. You have to be a total fucking asshole, and that's what I am. I'm a total fucking asshole to everybody, but I'm not a suck-ass pessimist. And that leads to me breaking a lot of barriers because people want you to be a fucking pessimist. If they hate one political ideology and you don't, well, Jesus, you're the enemy and they fucking hate you and blah, 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 and they say all this shit about you like, fuck you. Who cares? Anyway, we're back on the Bullsmack now after that hiatus, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about now. 98% of the population is dead. It's like being in The Stand, Stephen King novel. Apparently, Stephen King has given himself a little bit too much credit there, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. People are worried about the numbers right now, and there's no way to determine the numbers yet. They're saying, well, look how many cases Canada has, and look how many cases America has. Have you been tested? You in your house right now. This is why we're quarantined and social distancing right now. We're assuming that everybody has it. We're assuming that millions of people in Canada and America probably have this thing, but they got asymptomatic symptoms, which means they got it, but they're not passing it around. But those people aren't being tested. That's why we're in a mass quarantine right now, because we can't determine the numbers. We don't have enough test kits. So when cases rise, That just means more people are being tested. What you have to look for and what people can't do, because all news has to be immediate. Tell me something now. Like, congratulations, you're starting to realize that flus and viruses take longer than like 2 to 3 weeks to leave your system. And then after that, what happens? They could come back. Tuberculosis keeps coming back. The measles keep coming back. The coronavirus is going to keep coming back. But what are we going to do? Are we going to keep shutting down the world every time? I don't know. I mean, it's a good time we're doing it right now. This thing is so new. It's so fast spreading. It's so vicious to the people that are most susceptible to it, which is, people with pre-existing conditions and the elderly. And it's great that we're all coming together as a country. And it's not to attribute to any leader. I wouldn't attribute this to Trudeau's leadership. I wouldn't attribute it to Trump's leadership. I attribute it to the fact that people, the majority of people, are apolitical and they just don't want to be fucking assholes. I mean, if we had to do this for swine flu, maybe 200,000 plus people wouldn't be dead because of swine flu right now. If we shut the shit down, because swine flu was awfully fucking new and we didn't do it, but we're doing it this time. And that's wonderful to see. I got a lot of family members that are susceptible to this thing. I mean, my mother just got over cancer. I've been living in a germ-free environment for the last 2 years because I've been taking care of a woman that has no immune system. I got masks, I got gloves, we got all this stuff. I got like a decade's worth of this stuff. I'm prepared for this situation. The people that are flipping out right now are the ones that aren't prepared for this situation. And they should be flipping out. But it's good that the whole world is coming together despite what any leader says. Despite, I'm not going to get on. I'm not going to get on that, because when the real numbers come out, when this is all over, because again, news isn't as immediate as the mainstream media would have you believe. We don't get answers to questions within days of learning about this stuff. It takes weeks. It takes months. You're looking for facts. You're like, look how many cases Newfoundland has. Look, compared to America has. Like, America has more people. A vastly greater number of people. They're going to have more cases. No matter what the ratio is, no matter what the mortality rate of this thing is, America is going to be a leader over Canada because they have more people. They have more densely populated cities. Canada, we have more room between urban cities. We can stop this thing. We are stopping this thing. But assume that everybody has it. That's why we're in lockdown right now. We don't have the health system required to test everybody. What we do have is a death rate of this virus. So if they say 17 days, and we're going to take a month or 2 months to make sure, that's what we got to do to stop the system from being overloaded. So healthcare professionals, these are the people you have to listen to. Don't listen to Trudeau. Don't listen to Trump. Just listen to the official word of doctors. And I know that's frustrating because you go to official sources and you're like, I'm learning nothing new. So then you immediately go to clickbait, because clickbait is immediate. It's reactionary. And it's fucking bullshit. Like, they don't have the answers. They're not the professionals. And the professionals right now, like doctors, everybody that's working in the field, essential workers, they would tell you to turn off the news. Turn off the news, guys. It's fucking with everybody. So, let's just have some fun. Let's just have some fun. What did we miss while being bombarded by politically polarized assholes since January? I mean, since January, we had a blah, blah, blah impeachment. We had a shitty failed election. We had a leader that disappeared for 60 days to grow a beard and came back with something that, could be achieved with glue and a tea bag. But hey, thanks for showing up now to look down at a sheet of paper every 2 words to tell us to stay inside. If you know your shit, you don't have to look like a high school public speaker to tell it. If I said, listen, watch this. This disease is very vicious. It attacks the elderly and most susceptible amongst us. We urge you, for their sake, please stay in your home. Think that everybody has it. Assume that everybody has it, but you're asymptomatic. But you're still a carrier of the virus. Please, stay home. Did I have to look down at a sheet of paper every 2 fucking words to say that? No. Certain leaders had to, though, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to try and be political. Because right now we realize that a lot of certain ideologies, points of view are failing at times of real tragedy. Isn't it lovely? Now, let's talk about China. We already talked about China last time. We had our little Greta special there. And we tried to point out, like, China is one of the worst places in the world if you're a citizen. Okay? And when we say China, we are talking about the Chinese Communist Party. We're not talking about the people that are under their oppression. We're being critical of their government, the same way we're critical of our government. We love making fun of our leaders. I love making fun of Trudeau. I voted for the guy, and I love making fun of that fucking guy. People love making fun of Trump. But you know what? They don't get arrested for it. They don't get censored for it. But in China, guess what happens when you say something about the political party that's in charge of your country? If you disappear in the middle of the night, you get a hood thrown over your head and you disappear in the middle of the night. So all these people, the people that usually are arbiters of social justice, this shit is failing now. They don't know what the fuck to do here. They're like, who's being mean? And they just look at China and they're like, okay, well, this is racism then. You're like, yes, we feel so bad. We feel so bad. Trump comes out about fake news media, and for the most part, he's right. They do take him out of context. It's fucking hilarious when they do, though, too. It's like a tit-for-tat gotcha moment, but it's not funny anymore. But all the same, when he comes out and says fake news, we fucking say, shut up, you whiny fuck. Oh, you got it so bad. You know? But when the communist dictator of China comes out and says, we have real news being leaked from whistleblowers inside our heavily censored country, which is currently under a complete internet lockdown, so misinformation can't be spread, which is pretty much their way of saying so the truth can't come out. You know? When that happens, people are like, stop being mean to China. Stop being mean to China. You know, they just have 12-year-olds working in sweatshops to put together our iPhones before having their organs harvested. Stop saying bad stuff about China. They're doing the best they can. Oh my God, like, people over there are eating raw bats and mice and shit because the Chinese Communist Party doesn't provide their people with adequate nutrition. Stop saying bad stuff about China. Oh my God, just horrible things. Like, fuck China. Fuck the Communist Party of China. The Chinese people are where you should be looking. For like the last year, a couple 100,000 Hong Kong protesters have been screaming, saying, democracy, come save us. And we never listened to them. We were too busy going, yay, Greta, make us socialist. It's wonderful. We want to be oppressed like China. Those Hong Kong protesters can go fuck themselves. And now something bad comes out of China. And, you know, stop saying bad stuff about China. You people are backwards. Some people are just so fucking backwards. It's ridiculous. Like one of the worst human rights and animal rights violators in the world. And just because, you know, they mass produce all our products and we outsource all our manufacturing to them, so everything's cheap on a manufacturing level and we can continue to make all those billions of dollars instead of giving jobs to people in our own country. And you know what? Even illegal immigrants in our country could be getting those jobs that we outsource to China. So think about that. But we won't do it. I mean, look at Shark Tank. You propose anything. If I had a product and went on Shark Tank tomorrow and said, I'm going to have everything manufactured in Newfoundland. I want to make sure the people of Newfoundland get a great job and they make my product and they're proud of my product and they make good money and I make enough money. We're all successful. I become a millionaire. They're able to buy a house and have a car with a picket fence and a walk-in closet and all these wonderful things. People would look at me on Shark Tank and they would opt out. Why? Because I'm giving jobs to people in Newfoundland instead of cutting costs and manufacturing in China. Because I refuse to have a 12-year-old work 18 hours a day to make my product, they will turn down my business idea. Like, get a clue, people. Get a clue. Some things are fun. Anyway, let's talk about the cure of this virus. I mean, many viruses don't have cures. I mean, usually cures to viruses and flus are just treatment and human resilience. You can get a nasty flu, a bad flu. It can last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then the next month it comes right back. That's what's going to happen with coronavirus. Mark my words. I know we're panicking over it because it's so new now, but once we learn the treatments and once the hospital system isn't overloaded and they have a clear path of what to do when people get nasty cases of this thing, this is going to be like anything else. It's going to be like any other pneumonia, because we're going to know what to do with it. So it's a good thing right now that we're all not being assholes. I mean, I'm an asshole, but that's not to attribute to any leader telling you. Like, most of the people in the world are apolitical. They don't give a shit what any leader has to say. Most people, a lot of people don't even vote. They don't even give a shit. All they care about are the most susceptible. And that's a wonderful thing to see. And the media just keeps on jumping on the worst fucking stories. We got people in Buffalo dancing in the streets. Social distancing sticks, but still dancing in the streets, having fun with their neighbors, sending up smoke signals. It is amazing what's going on in the world right now. I'm very proud of humanity as a whole. You know, despite IQ levels going off the charts and a lot of Facebook posts that aren't going to age well. There's a lot of Facebook posts out there right now that aren't going to age well, but I'm not going to pick on that right now. I'd pick on it if we weren't in a situation like this where so many people are scared. So I'm going to save my picking on people until, like, you know, a month or two from now. When it's clear, when the numbers are out, and we're firm on the numbers, because, again, viruses take like 2 or 3 weeks to come out of it, and everybody wants an answer by day 5, day 6, day 9, day 12. You're like kids in the back of the car saying, are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. Like, wait. News isn't as immediate as the mainstream media wants you to think, but they got to keep on coming up with clickbait. There was a time when 24-hour news cycle was amazing during times of war, the Gulf War. CNN during the Gulf War made me want to be a journalist. And then when I got into journalism and saw how hack shit it was at that point, I mean, this was around 2002, 2005, and once you see how things are taken out of context and editors make you edit things and they make you snip things and they make you focus on a political ideology to tell your story instead of just focusing on the news, you can tell they're doing that for clickbait to survive. Print media was dying, internet was coming in, and the only way they could survive is, if they just spun some bullshit. Said, this is the end of the fucking world, and this guy over here is the fucking end of the world, and Harper's a piece of shit, and Bush is a piece of shit, and everybody, you know, it's just clickbait. It's clickbait. The world is running as it should be, and right now, that's being shown. Just by basic human connection. I'm not listening to Trudeau right now. I'm not listening to Trump right now. I'm listening to professionals. Whoever puts that up instead of a talking head, I'm listening to those things. I'm listening to Trump's people right now. Not Trump, but Trump's people. He's assembling the best doctors of the task force. And every time the media asks a question, they want to get a gotcha moment, he steps down. He has the experts go up and answer the media's questions about the virus. Those are the people I want to hear from right now. I don't want to hear from anybody else. That's the only people I want to hear from, and I'm enjoying it right now. But anyway, things you might have missed by politically polarized assholes. Let's also talk about Corey Feldman. Felddog came out with his documentary finally telling us who molested Corey Haim. Who was it? It's Charlie Sheen again. Again, if you were following the story for the last decade, I mean, we've all heard this story before. Corey Feldman's new documentary gave us nothing new. It came out with the same accusations that were before, except now we have a nice big documentary about it. And if you want to watch the documentary, it is currently being streamed on YouTube. If you want to see the documentary, it's currently on YouTube right now. It's called My Truth: The Rape of Two Coreys. And where you kind of find out that Corey Feldman was raped emotionally while Corey Haim was just kind of raped between two trailers with Crisco oil. And apparently it was Charlie Sheen. And it's totally credible. I mean, nobody was thinking that Corey Feldman was a liar. I wouldn't think Corey Feldman is a liar. Like, you came out and told me yesterday, like, I got raped by Charlie Sheen. I'm going to say, no. The man that is so debaucherously toxic that his own wife during the divorce proceedings talked about child porn that was on his computer? Him? He wouldn't rape anybody. Charlie Sheen, the man whose tiger blood was going around having sex with all these prostitutes while he was infected with AIDS. That guy? No, he wouldn't rape somebody. Charlie Sheen, the man who was so debaucherously toxic that AIDS didn't even stay in his bloodstream. He had like a 0 count or something in his bloodstream. Like, AIDS doesn't even want to stay in Charlie Sheen. The man is so toxic. Like, AIDS was leaving Charlie Sheen's bloodstream, and coronavirus was coming in, and AIDS was just like, you don't want to go in there, bud. You're not going to survive there, bud. It's not going to happen. I wish I had a co-host. I wish I had somebody that I could riff off of instead of just talking about this stuff with myself. But again, I have so many colleagues that are brainwashed ideologically that what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, like they're like, he's off the deep end. He's reasonable. He's rational. He's rational. He uses common sense. No, let's not talk to him. Let's let him go crazy and nuts. What are we going to talk about? Let's talk about Tiger King. I want to talk about Tiger King. You think Carol killed her husband? I think Carol killed her husband. It's how fun. Like you can think like, okay, maybe it's just Joe Exotic saying mean shit about Carol, but there's that one scene where Joe gets attacked because he has perfume on his shoes, and Carol comes out and she says, "Big cats wouldn't attack you because of perfume. They drool. They drool on your shoes. They just be like, ah, like they drool on your shoes. What you want to use is sardine oil." Like, as soon as Carol fucking Baskin says, all you have to do is use sardine oil. Like, if you want to get a tiger to eat a human body, just smear it in sardine oil. It was too much information. Like, how do you know that, Carol fucking Baskin? How do you know? And I mean, she's very unhappy with her portrayal in the Netflix documentary. I don't know why. I mean, that documentary was warts and all of everybody. Nobody got out of that documentary unscathed. Like, everybody was a piece of shit at particular moments. So, like, when Carol says she doesn't approve of the way she was depicted, what I hear in my head is, oh, she doesn't like the fact that you talk to other people. Like, the whole time she's there, she's talking, she's speaking, she's using words. She's putting words in other people's mouths from the other camps, from the other zoos. And then, of course, the documentary cuts to those people, and they're saying the opposite thing. You know, I don't like the way I was depicted. Basically means I don't like the fact that you talk to other people. It's horrible that you talk to other people. I don't like that. That's horrible. But stop saying bad stuff about Jana. Okay. Another thing is, where are all the, like, Tom McDonald has a coronavirus song. That's wonderful. But where are all the song parodies? Like, where is my Corona with my Sharona? Ooh, my little haggard one, when you gonna give me some lame Corona? Or we can do Thank You from Alanis Morissette. Thank you, Wuhan. Thank you, quarantine. Thank you, pet soup. You know, like, come on, let's have some fun with this. Let's have some fun with it. You know, stop calling it the Chinese virus, please. The whistleblower of Wuhan, they just murdered that guy because he whistleblowed to the rest of the world and told everybody what was happening. But stop saying bad stuff about China. China's just like locking people indoors and welding their doors shut. Stop saying bad stuff about China. 21 million phones got cut off, and people are like, stop saying bad stuff about China. You know, you can think in North America, you think about phone plans. You go with a cheaper one like Sprint or something like that. Under the Communist Party of China, your phone account is your phone account is your national ID. It's the equivalent of your social insurance number. So when people would probably take out a loan before letting their phone get turned off. And Bullsmack in our group, we already found, because we were trying to find data points, because we're trying to find out the real numbers, and you can't trust, the Chinese government to give you the real numbers, because they're in damage control right now. They're in total damage control right now, and they're using everybody that is just naive. Like, naive. Again, like, you guys are trying to save the image of a communist oppressor that oppresses their people. China controls what money you take home. China controls what job you do for the country. China limits your travel. You can only travel to where the Chinese government allows you to. And you can only travel for as long as they allow you to. And if you don't follow their protocols, they cancel their trip or they extradite you back and they put you in a gulag. This is China. China limits how many children you have, meaning if you have a boy and then if you have a girl and then you have another girl, Chinese government can just force you to have an abortion because you're having too many girls. Like, this is the Chinese government. And we have crazy people, I won't say from which ideology or which side, won't mention the side. Ugh, I got a crick in my neck. But that side is trying to do damage control for the worst human rights and animal rights violators in the world. Come on, folks. Come on. Anyway, communism's fun. Bat soup is fun. We're having fun.